Hey guys, Stephanie here with Pure Canine Training. Welcome back to Roxy Talks with the Rox. Alright, let's jump in. Question. We have problems with ants and slugs getting into my dog's bowl, so I have been trying to get him to eat on command. Some days it works, but most days it's a major struggle. I have tried changing times from morning to night and the other way around. Before, we just left the food bowl out and he could go days without eating, and then he's hungry and ants or slugs are in his bowl. We have also tried to change his food. Sometimes that works, but then he seems to get picky again. Answer. So before we can get into the behavioral side of things, we need to rule out any possibility of underlying medical issues or possibly nutritional problems. So sometimes dogs, they seem like they're being really picky and stubborn, when in reality they're in pain. So they reject food not because they're not hungry, but because there's something else going on internally. Sometimes the food is lacking. I know you mentioned that you have changed foods, but there's a possibility that the food that he was on previously was lacking something, and then this food is lacking something else. It's a possibility. But ruling those two things out, if he's good health-wise, the food is good, then we'll go into the behavioral side. And a big factor in why dogs reject food and everything, and like I said, they check out in the other two categories, is because of free feeding. What I mean by free feeding is you leave the bowl out and you allow them to eat all day. Or you leave the food out all day and you allow them to eat whenever they want. So the food is there all day and they get to choose when to eat. So a dog, the food doesn't seem to come from you necessarily. The food is just there all the time. They get to choose when to eat. They can turn their nose up at it. And sometimes when you have free feeding, you tend to have dogs that will turn their nose up at something, and they tend to learn that if I turn my nose up at this, I can hold out for something better. Dogs aren't stupid. But if you feed your dog at a certain time of day, personally I feed morning and night, put the food out, your dog comes, you make them wait for food, put the food bowl down. If your dog turns their nose up at the food, pick it up. They don't eat that morning. Come evening, dinner time, your dog waits for the food, put the food bowl down. If they turn their nose up at it, pick it up. They don't eat that night. You're not feeding the snails, you're not feeding the slugs and the ants, you're feeding the dog. If the dog chooses not to eat, then the food goes away. But he'll figure out pretty quickly that food, there's a new pattern. Food is not available all the time now. Food is only coming at certain times of the day, and if I don't eat at that time, I don't eat at all. And now I'm hungry. I'm not able to wait until I decide I want to eat. So if I don't eat, morning, or if I don't eat at night, when she puts the food down, then I'm not eating. Your dog is smart enough to manipulate you. So yes, check out the first two, make sure that everything is fine, and then stop free feeding. Only feed at the certain times of day. As soon as he turns his nose up at it and decides I'm not eating, fine, tough love. Put the food away. He's not going to eat it anyway. Put the food away. And now he's going to notice a new pattern. Oh, the food's not going to be out all day. I don't get to be picky and decide when I want to eat. Oh, and nothing better. There's no chance of anything better coming. Dang, she's serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Now or never. Yeah, so no free feeding. Put them on a schedule. Tough love. Make sure that the medical is taken care of. Make sure the nutrition. Try again at dinner. What you got? We interrupt this regularly scheduled Roxy Talks to bring you a Roxy special. Yes, no free feeding. Roxy. Put them on a schedule. No free feeding. So no free feeding. Put them on a schedule. And like I said, just make sure that the medical is dude.